What's going on, guys? Blazing here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you are having a wonderful day, and thank you again for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, today I'm excited because we're going to talk about Fire Knight. Now, I've been waiting a long time to actually build my team for Fire Knight. I've been holding off. I'm like, no, I don't need to do it, but finally I gave in, and I did it, right? It took me the better part of a half a day, I want to say. Uh, Hundreds and hundreds of gems, almost 1,000 energy, millions of silver, the whole shebang to try to build this team, to try to get some mythical, basically savage gear, right? Because that's what it's for. That's what we're looking for, is mythical savage gear. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you may not know when building this team that are very, very crucial, right? So before we start the video, though, I do want to say thank you again to everybody who's out there supporting me, to all you guys that are liking the videos, that are watching the videos, that are subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. Without you, I wouldn't be doing this. So if you do like the video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. So the first thing that we actually want to go through is the area bonus haul, right? A lot of players are going to be focusing on different things, and there's different places for you to focus depending on which level of the game you're at, right? If you're early game, you probably should focus more on clan boss. If you're mid game, you should probably focus more on Hydra, and then late game is probably where you should be putting most of your stuff into Fire Knight or Hydra. That's kind of where we're at this point. But what have I done here? We went HP, defense percentage, speed, and accuracy, and then whatever else we had extra, we threw into crit damage, right? So those are going to be the key things that you want to actually focus on. We don't really care about resistance in Fire Knight, right? We're not going to resist stuff. We don't really care about resistance. Ignore defense would be great, but I mean, we don't really need it at this point in time. We care more about consistency than putting out so much damage, right? And then attack percentage is really not going to do anything for us right now, especially with the team that we're currently talking about, right? All right, so hard mode Fire Knight 10 is possibly the hardest content in the game, even worse than Hydra, I want to say, because it requires specific champions, specific speeds, specific builds on these champions. It is insane how overtuned this dungeon is, right? I don't think there's another single comp out there that can do stage 10. Believe me, I've looked on the Hell Hades Optimizer to see what everybody else is throwing out there. I think there's like one successful run, and most of it is probably manual, from what I've seen. But there may be another one actually where Mithrala comes into play instead of Cardiel, but I don't know if it's a 100% run. That's sad. Yeah, it is crazy overtuned, right? To the point where, again, you require specific champions to do this in specific builds. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna start the run real quick. And shout out to Sato, Sato, one of the two. I can't remember how it's pronounced. Or yeah, I think it's Saito actually, and Mullet Reaver, right? I know Saito came up with the comp, and then Mullet Reaver kind of perfected it a little bit better, using some different champions. But you can see here, the basic comp, or the basic thought behind the comp, is going to be poison and poison explosion, right? Now, it's it's a fun little comp. It does take time. You are not going to be able to kind of speed farm this unless you're running +4, Cardiel, +4 Tomb Lord, +4 Tio, and +4 Valkyrie, right? And this is probably the worst part right here coming up to this with the Rehold Bone Spear, because if she gets the cleanse off, right, like you can see right there, she just put back the decreased defense on my Tomb Lord. Usually with this one, you want to open up with the Cardiel's A3, and in hopes that Theodore is going to basically put the decreased speed on her. That way you can get the decreased defense. But she will cleanse everything here, or actually not. This is one of those lucky ones where no one else is on the team, so, or no one else on their side is alive, so it's going to make sure that she goes after the Valkyrie, because the way she's built. Now, here's the tricky part, right? The turn order in here is the biggest issue, because if you swap the turn order in any other way, this run will be a 100% fail every single time. And that's because of the decreased speed that the decreased speed that Tomb Lord puts on. You need that decreased speed to land on the very first time, right? Maybe second if you're lucky, it'll still be okay. But if it doesn't land on the very first time, then this run 99% of the time will be a fail. And then it's very specifically tuned to everything that the boss does. Here's actually the biggest issue I was having is my Valkyrie, because I was opening up with Theodore's, not Theodore's, with Tomb Lord's A3 instead of the A1. I was not getting the counterattack on this area to break down the shield, which was what was causing me to lose the run. But I'm going to go through the calculator. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to build it and see if there's any sort of or any sort of speed variations. But 2 minutes, 56 seconds. My best time has been 2 minutes, 53 seconds, and we did all that for a 5-star epic piece. All right, so the first thing that we got to make sure we do properly is make sure that we put them all in the right order, right? We need Cardiel to be in the lead, then Valkyrie, Theodore, and Coldheart. Those really don't matter, but what does matter is the bookends, right? We need Cardiel to be first, Tomb Lord to be last, because Tomb Lord needs to land that decreased speed on the first ally attack. If he doesn't land it, again, the run will be a fail. Must be in the last of the setup. So then we have the AI setup, right? So round 1 and round 2, Cardiel is going to open up with his A3 and then never use it again. We will not be using A2. It's just going to be A1's tab after tab. Now on round 3, we are going to have him open up with the A2, and then the A1 will be prioritized, and we will never use the A2 ever again. Valkyrie is going to open up with her A2, and then both for round 1 and 2, and then we will never use it again. And then on round 3, we are going to prioritize her A2. Now we have Theodore, who's going to be, you can basically let him do whatever he wants on the first 2 turns, right? Round 1 and round 2, just make sure you turn off his A2. Then when you get to his round 3, we're going to open up with the A1. Then we're going to prioritize the A2 and then A3, right? Coldheart, we're basically going to open up with her. We're going to not use her Heartseeker in either round 1 or 2. And then we're going to open up with her A2 both rounds and then leave it be. And then at round 3, we are actually going to turn off her A2 and then just leave her AI setup as is. It's a very smart AI setup. When the shield's up, she's going to attack with her A1. And then Tomb Lord. Tomb Lord's going to open up with his A2, and then we're going to turn off the A3 on round 1. Round 2, we're going to open up with the A2 and then turn it off. And then we'll leave the A3 on because that helps control the Riho Bone Spear, right? Because of the turn meter reduction that we can do. And then here is where I was having the most difficult time trying to speed tune this. And shout out to Mala Reaver, who got on my account and figured this out, because for the life of me, I just couldn't do it. It is very important that he opens up with his A1, right? Just for the shield. And then you prioritize his A2, and then you turn off the A3. So the A3 is not going to be used at all whatsoever on the boss. All right, so now we have the builds. First, we're going to start off with Theodore. We have him in a speed and bolster set. Now, you want to make sure that you have either a shield or bolster set. I would probably go with bolster if you have it, because you can get the heal over time. But you're going to need that to help you with the survivability. The next thing to take into account is do not, absolutely under any circumstances, use any refresh accessories. This is where I got demolished, and we're spending hundreds of gems redoing masteries, redoing, blessings and all of this, because I thought it was the blessings. You cannot have any refresh accessories on any champion whatsoever. It will mess up the speed tune. So make sure you guys do not use them. They're great everywhere else, just not here. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the builds. Now, remember, I did put in some stuff into Fire Knight, so we are tuned specifically for this. So we're at 70k HP, 3.9k defense, 282 speed. The speed is very crucial. I will show you guys the calculator afterwards, where you can go in and kind of mess around with the speeds and see if you can go up and down, but we'll go through that in a minute. And then we don't care about crit rate, crit damage, 201 speed, 201 resistance, 355 speed, right? We do have cruelty on him, fully booked. Cruelty does help if you can get it on there, but it's not necessary. Masteries, we went all the way down to Bulwark, right? And then we did take Sniper and Master Hexer. Make sure you do not take Cycle of Magic, right? Because that will hurt you. And then do not take anything like Rapid Response or Arcane Celerity, right? Next, we have Cardiel, and he's currently in a shield and speed set. Now, Cardiel was actually one of the worst ones for me to build because I use him in my arena teams. And the build that I had him in had triple refresh accessories with like 330 speed, and that wasn't really working. I figured I might as well get extra counterattacks, yeah, it was not as planned. So let's go ahead and go over his build. Now, he is at 72k HP, so we want him nice and healthy to be able to get that shield. 4k defense, 311 speed, 25 crit rate, 109 crit damage. We don't really care about those. If you can fit some damage in the build, go for it. If not, you care more about the HP defense, right? Because you want to be able to survive those hits along with the speed. 322 resistance, we don't really care about that. 209 accuracy, we actually don't really care about that. So the takeaway from this one is HP, defense, speed, and that's it. If you can fit crit rate and crit damage, go for it. If not, do not lose any stats. Do not use any, crit rate or crit damage to try to gain and lose some of these stats, right? Skills, we do have them fully booked. We have Soul Reap on. I know I did try Miracle Heal, Phantom Touch, and then some of the other stuff. Even at a 1-star blessing for Soul Reap, it's still better than the other ones are. Again, but it's not needed, right? And then masteries, again, this is very specific, right? So we went all the way down to War Master. Now make sure you do not take Whirlwind of Death, and don't take anything down this side like where we go, Arcane Celerity or Rapid Response. Next, we're gonna have Tomb Lord, and again, he's basically here for the poisons. That's basically how we're doing most of our damage anyways. So for him, we went with a bolster and perception set. Now he does have a blood shield accessory and a reaction accessory. They're not needed. Again, you want to try to avoid any of the specific accessories like refresh or anything like that, or counterattack, because they may hurt you, right? So for the stats, we have him at almost 61k HP, 2.8k defense. He is going to be very hard to build defensively because he's an attack-based champion, so it's going to be really difficult for you to try to get him nice and tanky, right? Which is why we want the shield sets as much as possible. 254 speed, 105 crit rate, and 109 crit damage, 373 accuracy. That's what we cared about. Now, if you can get the crit rate and crit damage in, actually you want crit rate no matter what. Crit damage, take it or leave it, because of his A1, I believe it is. Basically, if he crits, he can get decreased speed on the opponent, right? Yeah, if the attack is critical. So yeah, you want to make sure that the attack is critical. So you want to make sure you have him with 100% crit rate. Here we did take Phantom Touch, right? Again, not needed. He is fully booked. And then for masteries, we took Giant Slayer. And then we went down and we took Lower Steel and Master Hexter to extend the poisons. Again, avoid Arcane Celerity, Rapid Response, avoid Whirlwind Death, anything that's going to boost your turn meter. Now we have Valkyrie. Valkyrie is built in a lethal set, and Valkyrie is going to be actually a champion you want to build a little differently, right? So what we want to do with her is we actually want to go damage, surprisingly, right? Which actually could be good for you in arena, as long as you give her some accuracy. Now, she does have a reaction accessory because I do use it for arena. I kind of wanted to double dip on the build, but it's not necessary. So for her, we actually have her at 42k HP. You want her to be the lowest HP champion in the pool. That way, as you saw in the run, if Riho decides to target somebody, she's going to target her instead of our Coldheart, because if she targets our Coldheart, then the run is failed, Coldheart dies. But if she targets Valkyrie, then you can get Valkyrie to be able to tank the hit because she is defense based. So we got her at 5.7 defense, 246 speed, 101 crit rate, 257 crit damage. And if you can fit accuracy in the build, go for it. If not, doesn't really matter. We do have her fully booked. No blessings are on her. If we did, we'd probably take Phantom Touch. I'm not even sure. Actually, we'd probably take Soul Reap. Masteries, we did go all the way down to War Master. We took Healing Savior to give us, extra boost to our shield. We did take Lord of Steel, Master Hexer, and again, we avoided Rapid Response and Arcane Celerity. Last but not least, we have our Coldheart. Now, we do have her built in a Stalwart and Perception set. You could build her in Defiant instead, as long as you can hit the stats. That's perfectly fine, but you do want to make sure you have something for her because she is going to be squishy. Next to Tomb Lord, she's probably going to be the one that gets targeted the most, or will, die the most. And if one champion dies, the whole run is failed. So for her, we are at 53k HP, so we are above Valkyrie, right? 2.4k defense. We would love to try to get more, but you know, being a rare, there's only so much we can do. 285 speed. Now the speed for her is insanely high. We have her at 74 crit rate, right? Because with her Heartseeker, it's going to come up to 100 anyways. 169 crit damage, right? And then 365 accuracy. The accuracy isn't going to really matter because you can't reduce the turn meter, but it's great to have it in other contents of the game, right? Skills, we do have her fully booked. We have Phantom Touch because we have a 6-star blessing on her. So she does actually take some damage mitigation from that. We did go all the way down to Giant Slayer. Now for her, you can actually take Cycle of Magic, and she's the only one, right? And she's probably the only one that you could take a refresh accessory on her as well, just because she's not using her A3 during round 1 and round 2. It's just on round 3, and her AI is smart enough to make sure that she doesn't waste her Heartseeker in the shield like she used to. So you could put some refresh accessories on her, and we did take Sniper. So now here we have the calculator for the hard mode Fire Knight, and this is for stage 10. Now you can, you know, pick here whichever stage you want, but on the right side here, you're going to see everybody's speeds. You don't really need to mess with anything other than going up on the speeds, up or down, whatever you feel are going to, you know, try to hit on the account. Now, the one thing that you want to make sure is trying to keep the speed tune in lock, right? And I'm going to increase size here real quick and show you guys the most crucial part is on turn 6, right? You need to make sure that everybody has the counter attack from Valkyrie. Now, if I boosted her speed up by just 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I boosted it by 4 and got her up to 250, it sets the whole speed tune apart, right? So we want to make sure, you know, the fastest we can get her is 249. Now, it does change other things on here, right? So you want to make sure she is at 246 speed and make sure that, you know, you're pretty much all set. Because the difficult part that I was having on my runs is she was not using her A2 here, right? And then when time came and the Fire Knight did his Corrupted Blaze, I was not able to get that shield back down again. And that's where my runs were failing, right? So I wasn't getting the decreased speed up on turn 1, and I was not getting this up on turn 6. I was not able to use her A2. So takeaway from this, guys, is, you know, the dungeon is very overtuned. I know I've been talking for a while, but the dungeon is very overtuned. If you do decide to go for this, make sure that, you know, you use your area bonuses first, then build your champions properly, and follow the speed tune. I will put a link to this calculator in the comments below, so you guys can have this for your records. You know, the speeds are going to be listed in the video anyways. So if you need speeds, you know, try to basically put them in and try to follow them and see if you go up and down on one particular champion, if it's going to mess you up. That's it, guys. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if, you know, you like the content. And as always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.